So we're here in Kalihi off of North School Street. This is more of the east side of North School Street. This is where I kind of roamed around as a kid or hung out, and we'll take a little tour. So that's 21 Mart and the bus stop I used to take to go to school for the number 2. This used to be a big gravel lot with some classic cars in it, and now it's the Honolulu Fire Department Federal Credit Union. It had an old plantation house on it, and they tore it down and sold it to them, I guess, and they made this big building. And over there is the Freight Merchant. It closed down a while ago. And that's the apartment building my friend P.E. used to live in, the one that was in the Kalihi video. And this is one of the rare plantation houses still left with this old school gate. I remember it as a kid. If you see that blue building up ahead, I'm not sure if you can see it, that used to be the old Mitsukin, and now it's the K&K Kitchen. And Mitsukin moved to King Street. Here is Mitsuba that everybody wants me to go to. One of the old school okazuyas that I'll go there another day. My friend Lana used to live here as well. I think her mom still lives there, but she moved to Washington State. There's the old Mitsukin. And then this big building wasn't here before, but it's Roy's Auto Glass. They've been here for a long time. I guess they just remodeled. And then that big building wasn't there before. And that's the Kaboji Shingon Temple, where people go every year to get blessed for New Year's. Another old plantation house that's still here. And here is the famous Helena's. They're closed today. As you can see, there's plenty of parking. And over here is the Mexico restaurant. It used to be the Puerto Rican Hall. And down the lane is Lo'ikalo Park. If you've never been, it's a nice park with a natural spring. And all these automotive shops were here before when I was little. They're just different names now. Another look at the old Puerto Rican Hall. It's now a Mexican restaurant. It's all right. I didn't really care for their food, honestly. And then this big monstrosity of a building used to not be here. It was a small walk-up apartment building that my mom would visit her friend in, but I guess they tore it down. And then also this is the one that used to be a okazuya that white guy said was here when it was a walk-up, I guess. And that's where Hawaii guy used to live, 1315 North School Street. Building is still there. I don't know what this building is. It doesn't have a sign or anything. Then over there is Brata's Market. It's a liquor store. It's been there forever, and the florist. And this building, we used to come here all the time. It used to be one of the first Korean stores ever. But now it's empty. It used to be a Korean store for a long time, and I don't know what happened. They were older people. Then it became a gift shop, and now it's been vacant for a long time. My mom used to come here a lot. Some old buildings that were there, still here. We would always hang out in this building because it was the first Korean person my mom met since she was from Korea, and you could find Korean products. This is way before Kapalama supermarket opened. And over here is Yummy Land. This was the McInerney Okazuya that Hawaii guy talked about. It used to be an old plantation building. They knocked it down. Had an old 7-Up sign. I remember that. And this building used to have Cam Bakery. There used to be a drive-through in there where you could get to the back parking lot, but now it's Aloha Cones. And it used to have Ambassador Market where I would get ice cream and some produce for my mom. She'd walk there too. It's the old Okazuya, it's gone. And the famous Bert's 76 gas station. This is where my dad worked as a teenager, and it's still here. I actually got my safety check there yesterday. If you want your safety check, it's one of the places where there's no BS and they just give it to you if you pass the usual things. So now this building, the Ambassador Market, is now Rainbow Drive-In. And there used to be a crab sign up in this building. It used to have a crab up there, and there used to be parties up in that where Gyokaku is now. Used to be part of a Chinese restaurant that I guess they had a fire and they closed down for a long time, and they just never had those parties anymore. But I remember that crab sign up above on the corner. And we'll go back to my car and drive to the cemetery, and we'll end there. Good thing we did what we did, because it is pouring now. Freaking coming down. It's all good. We'll go to the cemetery. I have an umbrella over there. Just for some history purposes, nothing creepy or anything like that. So now we're at Puea Cemetery. It's right down the road from Burt 76, but I just wanted to move my car since I parked near Oahu Street. And I'll flip the camera. Right there is the Kamehameha bus stop for the kids, if you're not familiar. And then Bernice Street over there and School Street. And this is the cemetery. And there's I don't know if that's really Ka'ahumanu, but we'll go check out a famous grave. And if you know, you know. If not, then you'll learn something today, perhaps. But this is an old grave, as you can see. We'll take a look at some of the stones. They might not be anybody we know, but some of them have interesting history to it. This used to be a creepy graveyard to me as a kid, because lining School Street, and even on this side, was these tall trees that used to shade all of it. So it had a very dark appearance, but they cut them down, and now it's a little bit more brighter because the sun can come through. But you can see how old these graves are. We'll try to check out some dates here. Some of them don't even have markers anymore. Here is, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it says Father Damien Medeiros, 1852 to 1916. So you can see how old these graves are. Even though it's in the middle of a city, it's pretty peaceful here. I mean, I wouldn't want to hang out here at night, but here's somebody with a picture. I like these pictures because it can kind of give a face to a name. Beloved wife Ropina Notarde, born in the PI, January 5th, 1891 to May 13th, 1945. Here's one, Minnie Kahiko, 1889-1908. So you can see that this is like a grave from the 1800s in the middle of now what is a city. I'm sure it wasn't as city-like back then. Hopefully you can hear me because it's super, super windy today. I'm trying to find somebody important here. Oh wow, this is a pretty massive gravestone. Martina Baranaba, 1885 to 1915. Before we go there, it's another one with a picture. I love these pictures. Beloved father, Ernest Rican, 1899 to 1947. Oops, going the wrong way. It's a really old school looking one with a border. I thought that was the one. We have to just keep looking. Here's some old school. It's like a family plot or something. They're all together in this fenced area. But check out this these old school kind of creepy Gothic trim on the fence here. Very interesting. I'm going to guess this is all royalty or important Hawaiian people because it's fenced off and you cannot get through here. It's kapu, it says, which means off limits. So I found him. There's Joseph Kahawai Jr. If you don't know his story, I'll put a link in the description box and you can read about it if you're bored. But he was involved in that famous Massey case in the 30s where a Navy wife wrongly accused him and his friends of raping her and lied about it, and then they killed him or murdered him. But yeah, born on Christmas Day 1909, killed January 8th, 1932. And then if you read about it, it's a long story. Her mother, Massey, was guilty of murder with her accomplices, and it caused a huge uproar in Hawaii, especially with the military being here. Really sad story, but yeah, he's buried here, and a great lesson we can learn from such a long time ago. So yeah, basically Joseph is here resting in Puea Cemetery, and they say his funeral was the largest funeral at the time for a non-royalty Native Hawaiian person. Mostly they would have big funeral processions for royalty only, but a lot of people, thousands of people showed up to his funeral, which was at the cathedral on Fort Street Mall that's still there as well, and they walked all the way over here for his burial. So very interesting history is found here, right in Kalihi. And it's pretty sullen here. Nobody really comes to visit. Their relatives are probably all passed as well. But it's good that they keep the graveyard here. But if you're ever interested, there's lots of parking here since nobody really comes here on the side of the street, and you can explore and read the gravestones and learn a little bit of something. But yeah, I'll leave you with that. That's my little walk through the east side of Kalihi. And have a good day. Take care.